Yeah.
All right, everyone. Welcome. I know you guys usually, when you see me and Joel, you expect us to be talking about usually nothing. But today, we are coming to you with much to do about something.
Yeah.
And that is Kevin Feige has just dropped the news that if and when we do see Daredevil again in the MCU, he will indeed be Charlie Cox. When, where, how, why, Blues Clues, whatever. He is saying it will be Charlie Cox. Joel, what the hell? like for me and you, and I know for probably the world, we've known this. And what really confirmed this without even having to hear it from Feige, but that's always nice, is the fact that me and you do believe that was just Vincent D'Onofrio on Hawkeye. So the likelihood of you bringing in Vincent, but not Daredevil, is slim to none and almost impossible.
Absolutely.
It's almost virtually impossible. So what does this confirmation mean for you, Joel?
All means the world for me, Juwaan. This is one of those things I've been waiting on for confirmation for a very long time, because it's like Daredevil blew my mind when it was released. He jumped into my top 10 of the superheroes of all time because of that TV show. And like, I was very, very, very sad to see it get canceled and go away. And look, for the longest time, we're like, it's it, right?
Yep.
We didn't know. We had no idea if they would ever come back. We were hoping they would come back in some capacity, and then they'd bring these characters back. But for the longest time, that was a dreadful couple months, because they were just canceling all the Netflix shows one by one. Hack. I'm like, oh my God.
Which is crazy because, and I'm gonna let you get back to that, which is crazy because the only show, right? Because you put Daredevil in, you take Daredevil out of that.
Right.
Iron Fist was really the only one to be canceled. Because remember, Luke Cage was supposed to go into production on another season, but apparently Cheo and Netflix couldn't come to terms with what they wanted that next season to be. Me and you speculated Netflix was probably trying to make that next season Heroes for Hire, and Cheo probably just wanted to do more Luke Cage solo. So it was after that Netflix kind of just said, all right, well, we can't cancel one or not do one and keep all the others. So Luke Cage and Iron Fist were really the ones that kind of left you like, what the fuck? Clearly there was supposed to be more. Punisher, right. Jessica Jones, and Daredevil got the news in enough time to give you a conclusive ending. Right. So I always look at it as Luke Cage was the first domino. And then when that fell, it was like, well, we can't get rid of this, and now we don't have a Defenders.
They canceled Iron Fist and Luke after they were filmed and never got a chance to get closure with those two characters, because they literally left us with blue balls with both characters. You're like, well, you're never gonna know now. And then when it comes to Daredevil, obviously, like you said, Punisher, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones all had a chance to give us closure before their finales, because they knew ahead of time they were going to be canceled.
Yep.
So that's so, but it was such a sad way to do it. Like, oh man, will they be? Of course. And look, it was like dominoes, like boom, boom, boom. They just all got canceled. Oh, it was so like, but as sad as it was, and look, I still have that fucking Iron Fist comic. I haven't read it. I've not read it. It's been like fucking 3 years. It has been like 3 years. Not touched it. I'm just so upset about them canceling Iron Fist. But I mean, bro, that's
howdy, boys.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
So Pete, welcome to me and Joel usually do a podcast together called Much Ado About Nothing. We are titling this special video. It's just one video, not a whole show. We're titling this Much Ado About Something because Kevin Feige
I just saw it.
Yeah, just announced that Daredevil is back as Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil. Sorry, I don't know why I had that the other way. And Joel was just going into it, but we were pretty much saying, Pete, there's no way when you see Vincent D'Onofrio in Hawkeye that you bring Kingpin in, but not Daredevil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're getting that they're getting it out of the way right now. Just
right.
Precise. Yeah. Everybody pretty much figured out after watching Hawkeye episode 3 that the hand and the laugh was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Right.
And I mean, if you know Echo, you know the story, you know the Kingpin is very much like a big part of her origin and everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like it was bound to happen. And as far as like my guy that gives us all of our information, Mikey Sutton, had been saying this for like since the Netflix shit got canceled. Like, don't worry, they'll be back. And a lot of other scoopers have been saying it as well. So I don't know why people doubted it. Like, just have some patience and wait. It's still exciting. It's fantastic when the news drops because we're all like, yay.
I mean, to be fair, Feige to me, and again, he hasn't done anything to make me believe this, or not believe this, but to assume this necessarily. But I've always been under the mindset he prefers to cast his own. Like he is okay with something that existed, but if you're asking Feige and he's bringing it in for the first time into the MCU movie world, I've always been of the mindset, I think he would rather just get his own than to have to try to pull what already existed. Now, to us, it's just easier that way. It's like, well, he was Daredevil. We liked him. We loved it. He was Kingpin. Just bring it in.
I think that's the biggest part is like it was so popular that to recast that, people be like, but wait, what about the other guy?
Right,
and
exactly.
People like us who are in the know, we understand multiverses now and all of this different stuff. But to the casual fan, they're like, but we got Daredevil already. Why we recast him? And then that's confusing for the layman. And that, that could prove to be the detriment of the whole shit.
Right. I mean, and also I do want to stress this because I know a lot of people are feeling this, and I know there was a rumor. This is the most obvious of those Netflix shows, right? Yes. Bringing back Charlie and Vincent. That is hands down the most obvious.
Yes.
It's not a guarantee for anyone else. Jessica Jones was rumored, but that is it makes all the sense in the world of that rumor, her being in She-Hulk. Right. She-Hulk's a lawyer. All lawyers need PIs. Makes 100% sense. 100%.
I have a timeline right here, dude. Like, look, like it was like the last year around this time, it was rumored that Charlie Cox was going to come back in Spider-Man.
Right.
Literally, it was like this week of last year.
Do we have a confirmation that he is in Spider-Man, or we know he's coming back as Daredevil?
We don't have a confirmation, but I also I'm not one to believe in smoke. I think smoke is the stupidest fucking thing when it comes to our world. The fact that Feige said this a week and a half before Spider-Man drops, I wholeheartedly believe is a preparation for when we see it. We're just like, oh shit.
Because we're probably going to see Kingpin before we see the Spider-Man movie.
Right. And Joel, let's also add this. I think Joe said this, sorry. Joe said it does come out a few days in the UK before it comes out for us.
Like a week, maybe a couple days,
I think it's only like 2 or 3 days. So if you're Feige, you don't want UK to be the reason we find out Charlie Cox is back in the MCU. You want to just put it out, and he did not say, all right, he's going to be in Hawkeye, he's going to be in Spider-Man, he's going to be in Echo. He just said, when you do see a Daredevil, you don't need to question who. It'll be Charlie. So I thought that was
first of all, I'm totally signing off all internet, so don't send me anything important. It's like I think it said the 15th, so it's probably like late the 14th or whatever. I'm staying the fuck off the internet completely. Like, I'll just be playing video games or whatever. I don't give a shit. I'll be reading whatever I got to do. I'm not having any spoilers.
Going dark.
Yeah, completely.
Nothing.
But to capitalize on something you said, Juwaan, like you don't believe in smoke. On the other hand, you don't believe in coincidences either. Like you said, this is a little while before Spider-Man and just a couple of days before Hawkeye episode 4, where we're probably going to actually see the Kingpin face to face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll see Kingpin this early on. I think because the only reason I don't think we'll see him this early on, and he'll be more so of a big reveal in the final episode, like maybe towards the end, if not the end credit scene, is because you've built up Eleanor and Jack, and they've kind of been a backseat since we've seen Uncle come into the picture. So it's like, well, you got to, and don't forget, from the little clip, it seems like Yelena is probably in this next episode. So it's a lot going on. Yeah, it's a lot going on, and you don't want to confuse people with Kingpin being quote unquote the big bad of this season. And it's like, oh, well, it was Kingpin. It's like, well, no, we brought Eleanor in for a reason, Jack and whatnot. This is Kate's setup. Kingpin is more so bigger terms going forward, less specifically Kate and Claire.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Like he would be the Stinger scene. And I forgot there's an Echo show coming.
Right. That's why I'm like, I think it's just because you're introducing Echo, so this is just building her story so that when we get there, it's not like Kingpin and Echo, where did this come from? It's like, well, remember I set that up in Hawkeye. But no, I mean, this is great. We wanted to see Charlie Cox back. Charlie Cox has been turning down, I don't know this for sure, but he's been turning down work left and right since that show got canceled. He said, I'm going to make sure Feige can't recast. I'm going to make sure he knows when you need me, call me. I'm there.
Probably stole the suit too.
Oh, 100%.
If you run it back, you know how to get me.
Time out. I swear, and Joel, I'm going to pass this to you because I know you're going to laugh. I swear the first thing Kevin did when Charlie showed up, right, in the suit, he said, no, throw that away. We have money here in Disney. We don't do whatever that stupid suit shit was you had Netflix.
I don't know what that was, but yeah, we'll take care of you, I promise.
He's like, you can equate that to your beginner suit. Your real suit will be here shortly. Don't even worry.
We'll look you up.
Now, Joel, I want to ask you this, and I'm going to have the same question for Pete. So with him saying that we'll see Daredevil, and he'll be Charlie Cox. So do you feel as though it's a good chance that the first time we see him will just be Matt Murdock? Or do you think the verbiage was to kind of seem as though, so you'll see him for the first time probably in the Daredevil suit, and when you do, I want it to be clear that's exactly who it is. Like, you don't have to question, like, oh, who is that? Like, you'll know exactly who that is. Yeah. How did you take that?
I took it as we will see him as Matt Murdock first.
Okay.
So it just seems likely that like you said, there's no smoke. Bro, they just confirmed he's coming back. So where we've been hearing for over a year, he's going to show up and not in costume. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? So he might be in She-Hulk. He might be in Echo. Now he might be in costume in there. I don't know. But I know Spider-Man.
100%.
Right.
So let me ask you this then, Joel, because this is very interesting to me. If he's not in Spider-Man, if he's not in it at all, does that then make you think the first time we see him might be in the suit?
I don't know. Because like if it's She-Hulk next, he doesn't have to be in the suit.
He shouldn't ever. With She-Hulk's villains being who they are going to be, at no point should Matt Murdock be. I came here to help you. It's like this.
It just seems like there's going to be some type of small arc before we see him in the suit. I think, or at least the real suit. And I don't know if we'll see him in a version of a suit. You know what I mean? I don't know, because I don't know how much of him is still real from what we know. You know what I mean? Is it a complete reboot? It's just him coming back. This is Matt Murdock of this universe. You know what I mean?
I wholeheartedly believe to reboot it would be to go out of your way to do something you don't have to. Like there's nothing about Daredevil's story that you have to retcon. Like that's why I keep trying to tell people, when you look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a lot of what they did, Feige hasn't done yet. So I'm like, I could understand him going in there and saying, well, I'll maybe take 2 people from this, but they'll be rebooted. So don't worry. It'll be the same character, but rebooted. But to me, Daredevil was so small that it didn't have large, extensive consequences that you have to go, well, shit, well, I got to rework this, you know?
And a lot of them did play around the fact that they were in the same world as the MCU.
Right.
They did. Now, the MCU never acknowledged them, but they acknowledged the MCU.
Right. I mean, Jessica Jones's biggest line was, stop treating me like I'm that big green guy. Like, I didn't destroy half this.
They never called him, well, they called him the green guy, and I think every time they mentioned him, they never called him the Hulk.
I think they mentioned the Avengers once or twice, like by name.
Captain America.
They even mentioned the attack on New York. Yeah.
There's newspapers with the attack on New York.
Right. So I mean, this is just really interesting to me because, like I said, and I could even see this in Pete. I'll pass this to you. I could even see, because Joel's right. You don't just, even though we're very familiar with the character, there are people that have not seen the Netflix show. I don't know who those people are. They must be somewhere in like.
Oh, I know. I've told everyone. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you why, but you need to watch Daredevil.
Oh, 100%.
December, and I've got people watching it now. I'm like, please just watch it, at least the first season before you watch Spider-Man and Hawkeye. Just please, just don't
watch it, because when the reveals come, you'll just be like, "Oh, the fuck is that?" And it's like, no,
right. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Don't say that to me. But Pete, my question to you is, because Joel's right, we will get building blocks. I could see something as small in Spider-Man as Peter's just like, he calls Aunt May and he's like, I need a lawyer, like I've been arrested. And Aunt May comes to him and she goes, I found someone. And he's like, who? And it's like, the only person I could afford in this town. And then in walks Matt Murdock.
Because he works pro bono anyway.
Exactly. So I can see something as small as that, and Peter just goes, Can he even see me? And it's like, no, I'm blind, but that doesn't mean I can't do my job. Something like that.
Right.
So Pete, and we've been talking about this. So does it kind of really feel like it's living up to that rumor Joel said is a year now? A year now that he will indeed be in Spider-Man.
100%. I think it's going to play out exactly how you put it. With, he's a free lawyer. This is what we got. This is what we can afford. And I also think, just like kind of a little add-on to that, I think Matt Murdock's going to ask him, did you kill Mysterio? And he's going to say no. And he's going to hear his heartbeat that doesn't change to know that he's not lying. And that's going to be the only indication in this movie that he's Daredevil or he's got like some kind of superpowers or whatever for the 6 people who didn't fucking see the show. And I think he's going to come back again in She-Hulk. Maybe you get him in the suit then, but I think it's going to be a little while. I think it might be until Echo comes out before you actually get Daredevil himself. But I wanted to ask you now. I don't know anything about the She-Hulk villains. So who's coming for She-Hulk to fight? And also, do you think we'll also, because now we've got Vincent D'Onofrio, we've got Charlie Cox, do we think we'll get Foggy Nelson and Karen Page back as well? And I really hope they come back. The only one I can possibly see them recasting is dude who was building up to Bullseye.
Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing. Sadly. I think it's an all or nothing. And now I'm going to go to you, Joel, to answer Pete's question. I think it's an all or nothing. I 100% think it's all or nothing. I think if Daredevil gets his own series or movie, everyone that was of importance of that show, the big hitters, will all be back. There's just no reason to retcon anything that they were doing. Whether it's
that was the other thing. I think it's foggy. I agree. I think it's going to be a complete soft reboot, and like maybe they just won't mention shit that happened, but there's no reason to redo those stories. They'll just move it along.
I don't know, and Joel, I want to pass this to you for you to answer Pete's question and your thoughts, but I just don't see it needing to be that. Like, I don't see it needing to be a soft reboot because the Hand is stuff you can bring back. The attack that happened in New York is all stuff you could bring back, and it's now finding a better way to build off of those losses that Kingpin went through. So to me, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to at all. But again, it will all depend on where Kingpin stands when we see him in Hawkeye. Like what his motivations are and stuff like that. If it seems like it's an all new Kingpin, like his motivations are different, he maybe doesn't seem aware of anything that happened in New York.
Now remember, last time we saw Kingpin, he went to jail.
He went to jail, right? That's what I'm saying. So if when we see him, it's from a jail cell, right, everything is the same. If he's not in jail, it'll be interesting to see how the fuck he avoided it for the third time. So a lot of that will be very interesting, and I don't think you need to reboot anything. Karen, Foggy, Bullseye, any of that. I really don't. But Joel, first I want you to answer Pete's question on, I know Abomination is one, and I know it's a female villain that's the actual villain for She-Hulk. But it's seeming more so like until we find out what's going on, maybe Abomination isn't a bad guy as of now. He didn't seem it in Shang-Chi, so
he's not the main villain. He's rumored to be in it, but again, he's not rumored to be the main villain.
Well, no, not rumored. Remember, Feige went on stage and said Tim Roth is coming back as Abomination.
What I mean is, like, we know he's coming back.
Oh,
we just don't know in what capacity.
Right.
So we know Titania, I think is her name, is the villain.
That's it. There it is. That's it.
She's gonna be played by I'll get her name right now. I have it all written down somewhere. Give me one second.
But, Joel does. Yeah, he's not even joking around. He does.
He's usually connected to the Absorbing Man. I think they date.
They may have. Jamila Jamil will be playing Titania.
Okay. Wow. I will say though, the Wrecking Crew, the best chance of us getting the Wrecking Crew is She-Hulk.
Yeah, probably. To be fair.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I hope we do. Because I mean, there's room for more, right? So fuck it. Yeah. As of right now, She-Hulk has. Let me see. Give me a second. I got. There's a couple actors. All right, so She-Hulk, obviously Bruce Hulk. We're gonna get Mark Ruffalo back. Right. Abomination, Emil Blonsky. We already know he's gonna be in it. There's rumors of that Ross is gonna be in it. General Ross. Obviously,
can we please get a Red Hulk? Something.
There's been rumors that Red Hulk might be in it, but like we don't know if it'll be Ross or someone else, or he's in it at all. But again, it's rumored. Then there's 3 actors I don't know, like Ginger Gonzaga, she's in it. Don't know who she's playing. Renee Elise Goldsberry's in it. Don't know who she's playing. Josh Segar's in it. We don't know who he's playing. You know what I mean? And then of course there's rumors of Daredevil, but again, and Jessica Jones.
One of them is definitely like one of She-Hulk's close friends. One of them is more of like a
one of them's like the partner in crime type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Best friend type shit.
Right. And then Joel, I'm sorry. Also, for you to respond to Pete, your thoughts on how loose of a thread do you think this will be, or do you think this is kind of a all in or nothing? So it's like it's just Kingpin and Daredevil, and that's it, or you might as well go the whole 9 and bring back Foggy, bring back Karen, and bring back Bullseye if that's a story you want to continue with.
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. My thing with that is what was it? It's going to be I don't know it all depends on what they want to do with these characters in the future. Like it depends on how they want you to view it, because at the end of the day, do they want you to go back to Netflix to watch those shows? You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Like, or they want to start something new where you have to just stay here. Don't worry about that. But if you want a reference, Netflix is there.
I mean, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard because you bringing him back.
I'm telling people right now to go back and watch Daredevil.
I was gonna say you bringing him back alone is gonna make people want to go back and see where he started. So to me, there is no way to fully retcon anything. You could just ignore some shit, but but there's no true way of going, hey, you brought back the same guy, but all that there, none of that happened. You know what, Joel? You know what we can compare it to? Honestly, 100%. Suicide Squad. James Gunn did the softest of the softest reboots, but all he really did, because he didn't reboot anything, all he really did was just say, I'm not mentioning any of that shit. Like, it will never be talked about in my movie, but it doesn't mean it never happened.
Right.
He's just saying my movie is not a sequel because I'm not acknowledging that it happened. But I can't tell you guys that it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably exactly what Feige might do is, I'm going to bring some of the pieces back that I like, bring in some new pieces that I want to incorporate. Because I always say this, Pete, I'm never a fan of handicapping a director, a showrunner, a writer. And I believe you forcing a director to have his lead is unfair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I can accept that if I'm a director. But you now telling me, well, this has to be your Foggy. This has to be your Karen. It's like, what if I didn't even want a Foggy and Karen?
Right.
You know, what if I just wanted Matt Murdock to go through this alone? You know what I'm saying? So
I truly think that lawyer scene that you pretty much just laid out, I think we get both of them. I think they both come in.
You think they come in with them?
Yeah, I think it's Foggy and Matt. We're here to help. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, look, if it does...
I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful because all of the pieces that we've been talking about, all of the rumors are thus far coming to fruition. You know, with the 3 Spider-Man, fuck your photoshopping or whatever it is, the digitizing out of the trailer and shit. Now we have Feige, whatever, however you say it, confirming that Charlie Cox is back. We've seen Vincent D'Onofrio's big ass giant hand. You know, it's all, it's, you know, the snowball is starting down the hill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and this is that moment that, like, I'm having like Thanos feels, you know, like we watched Avengers, like, oh man, like we saw Nick Fury and Iron Man. I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. We never thought that it was gonna fucking happen. And then we're watching Avengers and this is so cool. And you know, okay, this is where it ends. We got our 5 movies. Yay, hooray for us. And then Thanos comes out at the Stinger scene. And we're like, holy shit, this is way bigger than we thought. I'm feeling that level of hopeful again. You know, like there was a pause after like Endgame and then like after Far From Home where we're like, well, now what? Like, and it was like a really slow build where people are like, I don't really want to watch that movie. I don't really care about that show or whatever, this and that. And now that, like I said, that snowball is starting to pick up speed and gather mass to it, people are like, oh shit, I got to go back and watch all of this stuff now. And that's the kind of conversations that I've been having with people. It was like, yo, you want to go see Spider-Man? I didn't watch this. I didn't watch that. I got to watch all the TV shows. So I was like, get on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, look, to your point, the snowball started because me and Joel said the same thing after Endgame. We came on the show and said, well, where do you go from here? And then literally it felt like not that much longer after, breaking news, Fox sells to Disney, and it's like, what the what? Like, well, there you go. You just answered it. Now we have our next Endgame, which is Galactus. Now we have another thing we can build all the way up to, where we can book it. Because I was really afraid, Pete, that Feige would have to dig very deep into his Marvel bag and bring me characters I probably could not care less about, right? And try to make them relevant. Now I don't have to worry about that. Now he's bringing in people that we know and that are definitive to Marvel.
You know you're waiting for that Marvel Legends D-Man figure. You know it.
No, my fear is getting an armadillo movie. But no, I mean you're absolutely right. And look, it's as simple as this Daredevil news, and we're gonna wrap up. This Daredevil news is bigger than just Charlie Cox coming back.
Mhm.
And the reason I say that is if Daredevil's here, it's not much longer. Me and Joel were talking about this, Pete, and I'm going to loop you in on what me and Joel's theory was. If Daredevil's back, it's not much longer before you hear the name Frank Castle. It's not much longer before you hear the name Ghost Rider. It's not much longer before, you know what I'm saying? And then you start to build up the street level Defender, because I think they're going to keep the name Defenders. I don't think Feige's ever going to give us the actual Defenders from the comics.
No, I mean, that's a really wonky team.
It's a
cool team, but
it was the weirdest team ever. I remember when they announced, I was telling Joel, when they announced Defenders, I'm like, oh shit, Netflix, like, how are they gonna do Silver Surfer and shit? And then I saw it and I was just like, that's not the Defenders. Like, who is it? Like, I don't understand. But as Joel said to me, it was actually perfect because A, no one knows who the Defenders actually are. That's it. B, it's probably the only team name you can steal and literally no one cares about. It's just, well, sure, who cares? Right? Hulk's an Avenger. I don't really need him in any other kind of group, team, whatever. Who cares? You know? But so what me and Joel were saying, Pete, was, Pete, you know this better than anyone, how much me and you love Mephisto and needed Mephisto to appear, right? Mm-hmm. Joel brought this up, and he was 100% correct. He said, what if Mephisto is the big bad to our dark universe that we believe is being built?
So like the Midnight Suns type of thing. Okay.
Yeah. I love
those. They've been holding out on us.
To me, Joel saved my hate for a lot of these Marvel shows so far this year just by saying that. Because to me, it's like, well, think about it. Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, all these guys coming together to stop Mephisto. That's huge.
I hadn't considered it.
That's why I said, Joel.
Do you think we'll get Morbius in there?
Well,
bit of a stretch, but maybe.
No, because we said this before. The fact that Sony and Marvel have a deal, right? Mm. To not have Morbius and Blade means you're going out of your way to change his story for no reason.
I agree.
No reason it's right there. It's literally looking you in the face. Mm-hmm. And Sony would love a chance to boost the movie of Morbius by adding him to a Mahershala Ali.
It adds a hell of a lot of relevance to the movie that most people are just kind of think is lackluster at this point.
Right. Because I can tell you this. If, let's say, Morbius comes out next month, right? Doesn't do all that great. It does solid, but doesn't do all that great. Morbius will have the same effect Live, Die, and Repeat did for its digital sales if Morbius is in Blade. Because you'll have people going, well, shit, did I miss something? Let me go back and watch Morbius. Mm-hmm. And then Sony will just go, oh my God, these numbers, what? Mm-hmm. How can we get more of this? Can they be partners in something else? And then
I think you're absolutely right.
Wait, Pete, I can just picture like Sony's like, well, what else can we do? And Pete just walks in and goes, I have a proposition of Midnight Sun. And he's just like, come in, sir. Tell me more. Like you come out like how Nick Fury did at the end of the
I want to talk to you about the Midnight Suns and throw down like 6 comic books. Like, yeah. Okay. Read your shit.
But go ahead, Pete. What were you saying?
I was just going to agree with you. Like they're basically shooting themselves in the foot to not put him in, and it just brought to mind one of my favorite lines from the original Blade movie. Is some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Yes,
sir. Put him in a damn movie. Put him in a movie. It's not hurting anyone, and it'll only, I guess it would help your Sony contract. And this is the problem. It's all lawyers. It's all about lawyers. William Shakespeare was right. Kill all the lawyers, kill them tonight. Sorry, Matt Murdock.
But no, I mean, again, if you're Sony, there is an extreme upside to it. If you're Marvel, there's an extreme upside to it. Because if you're Sony, it only enhances what Morbius can be, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're Marvel, do you know how much we will be drooling as fans to know that you went out of your way to stay as authentic to Blade as you possibly could, I'd be foaming at the fucking mouth. They'd have to put me down. Are you serious? Just do it. Just do it. But yeah, so we are very excited for Kevin Feige dropping this news because this is huge. And this also lets you know that he is not shying away from bringing back things that work.
Right.
No, it's why when we get to Ghost Rider, right, and we get to more characters like Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Blade, so on and so forth, and we get to a Frank Castle, John Bernthal will be called. He'll be called.
Yep.
He will be called.
Full.
I hope Mike Coulter comes back as Luke Cage. I really liked him.
I like him a lot too.
Can I be honest with you, Pete? And I know a lot of people don't feel this way. I feel this way, and I will die on this hill. There is not one Defender I want to be changed.
I agree.
Not
I
a
disagree
one.
vehemently.
And I know who it is, Pete. It's the same as everyone. It's Iron Fist. But again, here's what I always say to people, right? If you didn't like him in Iron Fist season 1, you didn't like him in Iron Fist season 2, you know where the entire world liked him? In Luke Cage. Why? Because the writing was better. The direction was better.
That's
the
a valid
love
point.
for the character was better.
I don't want to, when I say recast Iron Fist, I don't want I'm not disparaging the actor. I don't know enough about him to say he did a shitty part. I have heard rumors that he didn't want to train properly or enough, and that's discouraging. I don't like that, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. I can't, speak to it. I can only say this is what I heard, and it's just hearsay. But if he is still in the movie, I need to see more martial arts out of Iron Fist because I didn't get that at all. I didn't feel like I was watching what I did with Shang-Chi. Like I felt like I was watching some good old kung fu shit with Shang-Chi.
But that's why I said that's more so to do with the showrunner than it is anything else. Because again, when Cheo got a hold of him, how much fucking cooler did Iron Fist seem?
That's a valid point. That was a great fight on that bridge.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, it's like no way Feige would bring Iron Fist in at all and it not be in the same vein. Because remember, me and Joel, you remember this. I know you do. We had this conversation when we were hearing about what Shang-Chi was going to be in the MCU. And we said there's no way that whether this movie or the next movie, there's not a major tournament and that tournament doesn't introduce Iron Fist. There's just no fucking way. No, you're already introducing different realms. There's just no way Iron Fist isn't introduced through Shang-Chi. That's the perfect place to do it. So to me, if that same director gets a hold of Iron Fist, come on now. Iron Fist will be fucking majestic. So that's why I'm saying I don't think the actor matters. I think the care matters. And over there, you had someone who did the guy who did that did Inhumans. That's all you need to know. The guy who did that did Inhumans. He clearly gave no fucks about either one of them.
There's budgetary reasons to that too. Ike Perlmutter just gave them like ass end of like, okay, this is what's left.
But
do what you
that's
can.
why he was hired to do Inhumans because he did such a good job saving money on Iron Fist. He saved money again on Inhumans,
which is a damn shame because I actually liked most of the cast of Inhumans. I thought this could have been a good show with, as you said, Juwaan, you're right. It's whoever was in charge.
Right. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. Very rarely have I seen a superhero movie where I'm just like, they just got people who can't act. Like they're fucking horrible. They got a Oscar nominated writer, an Oscar director, and it's just the actor. Like you'll probably never come across that in the history of superhero movies. It's usually either the direction or the writing that completely destroys a movie. You know what I'm saying? Birds of Prey casted beautifully. Director, amazing. That writing was just very forgettable.
I will agree with that. Well, you know many people are quick to blame the actors, and I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. But you're right; it's more often than not, it's the writing. And whoever says that's okay, we'll put that through.
And yes, Joel, the costume department for Birds of Prey, yes. But no, it's just the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing. It's the same way that when you watch sports, you go, well, fire the head coach. And it's like, well, what if his players aren't good? Like, what if he's a good coach, but he can't coach winners out of losers? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but no. So like I said, we are very excited for this. This is huge news. So huge, guys. It's midnight and we're recording for you guys. I'm gonna edit it, put the Daredevil theme in front of it and everything. I don't care. We might get flagged. I don't care. I'm putting the Daredevil theme right in
14 seconds and you're good.
14 seconds?
14 seconds.
Perfect.
Clock it.
All right. I'll
clock it.
I'm exactly gonna clock it. I'm gonna clock it. I got you, Pete. But yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to Joel. This was his idea, and I'm glad that he brought it because this was a lot of fun. Because this is something that we don't want to sit on and wait on.
Right? No.
Let's drop it now. So first thing I said was, I got to get Pete in this.
Yeah, you were like, are you sleeping? Like, you know me. I'm never asleep.
That's why I'm like, when I sent the text, I'm like, no, he's gonna be offended by this indefinitely.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm like,
did we just meet?
He's like, does it look like 7 a.m. to you? But no. We are very excited for this. And again, guys, please stay tuned for Marvel Cinematic Review this Wednesday. You will be seeing these faces come back to talk about the next episode of Hawkeye, which hopefully we might get more of Uncle. We might get more of Yelena. Who knows what we're going to get out of this damn episode, but Hawkeye has been phenomenal. Phenomenal. Hands down, top to bottom. And Joel, we'll get to this on our show tomorrow, but apparently there's a new rumor floating. Not floating. Floating. It's floating. That Kate Bishop might be an Ant-Man and the Wasp. More so as
That's
like
an old rumor.
Oh, that's an old rumor. Oh, okay.
It's reappeared is what happened.
Got you. It makes sense because I could see that being the initiative for the Young Avengers. Is just like, hey, your parents or someone you love does this too. All right, cool. Me too. Cool.
Did you see that meme on that subject? It was like Haley Steinfeld, I forget who else, Kevin Feige's on like the dais, the seat above her and whatever, and it says something to the effect of Haley was asked about the Young Avengers, and she's just like, and she just looks at Kevin Feige, and he's just staring at her like.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was part of that. I was part of that conference that the Hawkeye cast was doing, and that entire cast just kept saying the same thing. They asked the actor who's playing Jack Duquesne, "Are you gonna suit up in this season?" And it just kind of goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. Suit up? Like a suit, like an Armani suit? And it's just like, you know what the fuck we mean, man. Are you in it or not? And it's just like, Kevin, I can't say it? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I love it because I'm telling you, Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo have stressed Feige out so much. I think he makes it very clear. Like, don't even breathe when you're being talked to. Don't breathe, just shake your head. That's it. That's all you need to do. Don't say nothing. Because he wants to make sure nothing gets spoiled. But yeah, so that's a hot rumor we're definitely going to talk about. But also figure it out. We'll be back this week. Me and Pete got some figures. JD got some figures.
I got a TV. We're different people.
Joel's got a TV. We distribute our money differently, clearly. But same vein. But yeah, so stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming, so please stay tuned for that. And until next time, guys, peace.